Hi, this is a letter from the future. Future editing Sissa. Hi, how are you? The quality of this video sucks, and my sound cut out at some point, so the background is gonna change. Everything is gonna change at some point. The lighting sucks. The quality is literally terrible. I didn't check to see if my light was on the entire time. And then my mic died halfway through. So yeah, just a disclaimer. This sucks. And my eyelash, I bring it up in the video too, but we ain't gonna talk about it. I am so sorry. I'll make the next ones better. Hi besties, it's me, Sissa. I hurt my finger at work today. It's a cardboard cut. It's fine though. It's fine. Today, actually, I'm gonna talk to you guys about a book that I just finished, and I'm starting the second one from the series. I'm sure you've all heard of it. I'm a little bit late to the scene, actually. It's called The Little Stranger or Little Stranger, and I'm starting Little Liar. And also, Little Liar already makes me want to cry because I understand why he's a mute now. But yeah, so let's get into it. It is a dark romance. So if dark romance isn't your thing, then like this video probably also isn't your thing. But I will talk about other books that aren't dark romance because I don't like to read dark romance all the time because like it's just not really my thing sometimes. I do really enjoy dark romance sometimes though. So also my eyelash is fucked up. We ain't gonna talk about that, okay? Shush. All right, quick little introduction to the characters. We start off with our two main characters, okay? We got Olivia Vise and we have Malachi Vise, all right? Olivia and Malachi are foster siblings, okay? So this whole dynamic is very like sibling oriented, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out. It's not that bad, all right? Like, okay, if you're here, if you stayed after my disclaimer, it's not that bad, okay? We've read worse. Me and you have read worse, all right? It's fine. They do, and like also I play Caleb from Love of Deep Space. He's my route that I be going on. Okay, so hear me out. All right, they have that sibling dynamic. However, it's really not that bad because I'm pretty sure the Malachi never actually even saw her as a sister at any point in time, and Olivia also kind of just goes in and out of it. And all right, I'm gonna put the triggers up on the screen just like so you guys know. And my own disclaimer is the fact that I didn't have the physical book because I went to Barnes and Noble and they did not have the book and I wasn't about to ask them for it. So I only listened to the audiobook and I was taking notes on my phone as it was like popping up. But like I was listening at work, I was listening at home, I was listening in the bath, I was listening in the car. So not 100% accurate, but like you guys get the gist, okay? And also, another disclaimer, they are a brother sister dynamic, but they're foster siblings, okay? Oh, yeah, my finger. They are yeah, it's like a sibling dynamic, but it's like a foster one. And neither of them truly ever like saw each other as siblings, so like, just that. And also from The Little Liar because I'm starting that book now, but as far as I know from that, he's a mute because his dad left and he was like heavily abused by his mom and then she ended up dying. Yeah. And he's got like a spider thing from his dad. Yeah. Like I guess besides the point. Well, like maybe not besides the point because there's like two spiders in the main story, but it's fine. And I would also like to mention the fact that, okay, I did love the writing, it was very entertaining, but I think I loved the writing because I was prime Wattpad era, right? Like before you had ads, before all that. That was my prime, okay? So I loved it because it was written like a really long Wattpad story. And I don't mean to expose myself, but it brought me back. It brought me back. Besides the fact that it is written like a Wattpad story, it's also kind of giving, how you have like biker boys that'll pop up on like TikTok or whatever, and you'll go to the comments and you're like, wow, y'all are thirsty. It's giving that. It's giving the comment section of a biker boy, but also that is like mass play. That. It's giving that. Okay. And like, it's kind of funny. Okay. I kind of loved it. But it wasn't like comedic like Lights Out is. Like, this was like a genuine read. Okay. So like if the triggers don't bother you or anything, I would absolutely recommend this book. 10 out of 10. I mean, again, if the triggers do not bother you. Don't say that I didn't warn y'all, okay? And also, if you listen to the audiobook, also warned you. So originally Malachi and Olivia, they used to share like bedrooms, they shared a room. And then Malachi kissed Olivia when they were like younger. And like the dad flipped out and he was like, y'all ain't sharing a room no more. Get out. No. So that kind of got shut down pretty fast. And he got his ass beat, okay? And like, mind you, okay, so this is spoiler for the rest of it, all right? I'm not the best at explaining books. Not gonna lie to y'all, but this is a discussion between us as far as I'm concerned, okay? So, yeah, the mom was kind of really bad because also the mom sold her virginity. And then the mom didn't even stop at that. The mom kept trying to sell her to different people. And then when you get to like later in like the book, The mom sells her to a man to like walk down the aisle. And I'm like, I thought you were done with this. But when the dad found out about the virginity thing, the dad came in and he was like, I'm gonna whoop these kids' asses. And then he was like talking about leaving the mom, but he does leave the mom. Or he doesn't leave, he loves the mom, so he doesn't leave the mom, but he talked about leaving the mom. And I'm like, you really should have, because that's crazy. And mind you, they have like no kids of their own, but they had, like they fostered 3 and then adopted the 3. All right. However, Malachi ends up in prison before they get that third one. The third one comes a week after Malachi goes to prison. And this is what I don't understand. Malachi, like, kind of likes their mom, you know? Like, he only really loves Olivia. But he kind of likes the dad a little bit, or the mom a little bit. He doesn't really care for the dad, which confuses me. Because those two should have been, like, on the same side besides the fact that he wanted to get with Olivia. So, I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused, personally. But, like, Olivia loved her dad, and, like, I did too, because, like, objectively, he was the best character in the whole book because he's the one that cared about all of them. Every single character the dad cared about, even after, okay, so, spoiler, Malachi got caught doing some things to Olivia on the floor, on the stairs, or, like, right above the stairs, and the dad came in and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing to your sister?" And then he comes in and he tries grabbing Malachi off of her, and then he ends up beating up the dad until he, like, almost, you know? So, yeah, he ends up going to prison for that because he almost kills him. And it was like this whole big thing because Olivia was like, "Oh, like we never were like intimate, yada yada." But they had like a whole thing where they were like for months they were messing around, okay? And they kept trying to sneak it. And the thing is, Olivia kept going on these dates because like, her mom kept putting her up for these dates. And then the dad wasn't fully aware. Like he knew she was doing this, but like he wasn't aware of like the severity of it, right? And then Malachi was supposed to go on a date and she lost her shit because Olivia and Malachi went and did something in a little tent when they went camping, um, while they were like waiting for their sister to come, and it was like really really awkward between them. And they're like, "Oh God, should not have done that. Should not have done that." And like, yeah, I agree. A little sketchy at that point, but they did it. They didn't really talk, and then he went on this date, and she was so upset. So she was like texting him like, "Where the fuck are you?" And mind you, okay, so Olivia does this thing where she really makes me mad anytime that I'm sick. I'm sorry. Anytime that Malachi wants to talk and she's upset with him, she'll either turn away because he only like uses sign language because he's mute. She'll look away, not look at him. Like he can try to make her look at her like him, but she refuses. Or if he's like doing hand stuff, she's like, when I tell you that made me so angry because like she's old enough to not do that, okay? And then she was gonna get assaulted at a party, okay? And then Malachi comes in and he beats everybody up. And I'm like, okay, period. You're on top of everything, okay? And like that's when the dad was gonna come in and he was like, I'm gonna leave my fucking wife because what do you mean you just like you sold that? Why? What is wrong with you? And so yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't really understand the dynamic between Malachi and their dad because it should be better, other than the fact that like, the dad doesn't want those two together for obvious reasons. But I don't understand that part. It is objectively a really good book though, and I do recommend it. And we did get a happy ending for the most part, okay? You know how I said that she was supposed to go get married to that guy that the mom is trying to set them up with? I'm getting a call from college. Not answering. Okay, so you know how I said that the mom tried setting them up? Yeah. She's gonna follow through with it because mind you, after he goes to prison, okay? I'm gonna backtrack because I went too fast. Like I fast forwarded too much. Um, I'm also not checking my notes. It's too late at this point. We're in this together. We're going off of the top of my brain. Okay. So basically, he goes to prison, and in prison, he's in speech therapy, or he does speech therapy like when he gets out. Either way, he can talk now. Do you hear that? He can talk. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He can talk now. Okay. And he's a little biker, so he's got a little motorcycle, right? I'm not really into motorcycles, not gonna lie to you guys. The mask thing I can get behind, but the motorcycles, I'm not getting behind that one, sorry. Personal taste. Okay? But, okay. He gets out of prison, and everybody that she talks to in between that time before like they end up meeting up again. First of all, he lives across the street from her. And he buys a house. He buys a house with money that his mom gave him. Why does he buy a house, Sissa, you might be asking? Yeah, Sissa, why did he get the house? Oh, he got the house for them to live into, like, live in together, even though he's mad because, like, she put him in prison, basically, because she was like, yeah, that was him. That was Malachi that did it. Malachi, he did it. So he's very, very upset with her, but he goes killing everybody. At least I think. I'm pretty sure it's implied that he kills people. It might just be like, oh, he like scares him off. I'm pretty sure he kills them. Pretty sure, okay? Because he goes like full cuckoo. However, and like, I mean, I know that it's like a big thing right now in like dark romance, but all of them have antisocial personality disorder. Which, okay, I'm a BPD girl, so maybe I don't like how romanticized mine got. So I don't know if I'm just speaking for them. I'm speaking for the trees. I'm sorry. If you got it, you can speak up. If you guys like it, let me know. Okay, let me know. I'm just saying that would probably bother me if I had that. Because, yeah. But, so he gets the house. He buys them a house to move in together. And he gets out of prison. And he's killing everybody. Right? Right, yeah. Well, when he moves in across the street from her, he's in an apartment. And he was, like, drugging all of her, like, drinky drinks. And then he would go into her apartment and, like, do some questionable things. However, she has a crush on him because he reads her diary. She's got a crush on the hot guy that has a motorcycle across the street. And so she's getting ready to go to a party thing. And she sees him across the street. And she's like, oh, my time to shine. Hi, Mr. Biker. Hi. And so she's like, hi, I'm Olivia. Nice to meet you. I'm going to a party. And mind you, he's so shy to say anything because he's just now taking speech therapy. So he's not like comfortable with it yet. And he's like, she's gonna walk away. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. And so he's like, my name is Kai. She's like, oh, 1 second, be right back. So then she goes up to her apartment. She gets a little notepad. And then she gives him her number, right? And they're sitting there texting. But he's got cameras everywhere because this is a stalking trope, okay? Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm always down for a stalking trope. I love it. It's cute. It's romantic as long as it's not real life. Because I don't think that I need a disclaimer for this. Don't do things that you see or read in dark romance. Thank you. So, yeah. There's that whole fucking thing, right? And he's like watching her text. And she's like sitting there, like thinking about what to text him back. And then he double texts her because he's like, I can see you thinking, baby, don't worry. I'm sorry. I love this book so much. I really do. And so she ends up inviting him to this party, right? Mask Kink entered the chat. He has this little like gas mask thing on. It makes me think of My Bloody Valentine, which, like, it is what it is. But yeah, basically, he ends up napping her, full on napping her, taking her to their home, chaining her up, spiders, put spiders on her, does some things, does some questionable things, screwdriver things. Yeah. And then he ends up bringing her back upstairs, like giving her a bath, laying her in bed. He's like, I really want to cuddle you. Because, okay, I haven't done him justice on the fact that he really is like a little sweetheart and he just constantly wants to touch her. Words of affirmation and physical touch are his love languages, I fear. I can give it to you, Pookie. I'm just saying. Okay? So, yeah, that's basically that whole thing, right? And then she wakes up. Olivia wakes up and he still didn't reveal who he is. He's still Kai to her. Well, guess what? His eyes. His eyes give it away. She's like, Malachi? That's me, baby. So then they end up going at it again. This whole book is a lot of going at it, but there is story, okay? And a lot of dark romance, they'll just skip over the story or they'll like lose the plot at some point. This one, you keep the plot and you keep the boom boom, all right? I'm here for it. It's a good one. He's like, Olivia, I love you. Oh my god. Woo, woo. Listen, when he's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. If you're sorry, hot, okay? And he's like, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love when he gets like a little bit whiny and a little bit like mentally fucked a little bit. Is that wrong to say on here? Whatever. You guys, if you're watching this to this point, you know what I mean. Okay? So, yeah, he gets a little bit mentally fucked and like it's really, really desperate. And he's like, Olivia, I love you. And she's like, Malachi, I don't love you. Okay. Okay. And so she leaves, right? And when she goes to her apartment, she's getting ready to go marry the other guy. Like a couple weeks later. Pretty sure it's like 2, 3 weeks later. But they come in and they dye her hair blonde, okay? And they change out her whole wardrobe. And apparently, he's been telling her her future fiance or her future husband to be, her fiance is telling her constantly, you need to lose weight. You know who wouldn't do that? Malachi, but okay, I guess. Yeah, so she like the day of the wedding, she's getting ready and her mom is back there. And mind you, her mom is the one that's selling her out for all this. And she's like her mom's assistant right now. Like as an adult, she works as her mom's assistant. And I'm like, this is weird. Cause like I really don't like your mom. Like at all. She's weird, she's funky. You should have seen that your mom is weird and funky from a while ago. And why at this point have you not told your dad literally everything that's gone down with your mom when you know that your dad will likely be on your side? That's a little bit weird to me. But like, I don't know, Stockholm syndrome or my mic died and I noticed it when I was editing, so I have no sound for the end of like part of my video. So basically, I don't like her mom, and I don't know why she didn't tell her dad. And essentially, right, like I get that she was adopted, so maybe like that's got something to do with it. However, it's like even if that is your like maternal figure, you would think that at some point like this is just really like not healthy for anybody involved. And then she like tells her like her mom like, "Hey, like I was with Malachi and her little sister was there." And her little sister was like, "Shit, he seems like a cool older brother." And she was like, "Yeah, he was because we did literally everything together." And then she looked at her mom and she was like, "But I was with him." You know? And then her mom was like, "Okay, well you still have to go like marry this guy. Like we can't back out of this now." And then so her dad comes in, he's like, "Well, what's going on?" And then her dad is like, "Why don't you want to marry him?" She's obviously not going to tell her dad that, "Hey, the guy that almost like murdered you, I'm in love with him." So like he's like, "Well," like she tells him basically like, "Okay, yeah, like he's doing all these abusive things. I don't want to be with him." So then the dad is like, "Okay, well like I'll help you get a divorce after the fact." So they start walking down the aisle and she's like looking at her dad and she's like about to cry her eyes out and she's like, "I love Malachi." And then her dad is like, "Okay." So she looks at her mom and she's like, and then her mom looks at her like, so then she looks at her dad and her dad is like, I'll handle it. We'll handle this. You go ahead. So she calls a cab, right? And then the cab comes and gets her and then she goes to Malachi's. However, she goes to Malachi's, right? And that's an hour and away, like an hour away in my head. I'm like, he's not even gonna be there anymore. He like he would have sold the house because he moved everything, like all the cameras out of her apartment. He stopped watching her. He was quite literally like, I mean, heartbroken. The girl that he loves doesn't love him back, allegedly. Allegedly. So he's like, he gave up basically. And he was like working out when she pulls up in the cab. She comes out, she runs towards him, and he's like, "Hey, little stranger." And I also mentioned this at the end of my video. He sang her Itsy Bitsy Spider while he had a spider crawling all over her, which, like, by the way, period. Me too. But yeah, so basically that's all. Follow me on TikTok, Sissa007. I'll make sure that my mic is fully recorded next time that I record a video, and also not to record on my iPad because this quality sucks ass. Sorry, guys. I'll make the next video better, promise. Let me know if you have any recommendations for me to read, talk about. It could be books, TV shows, video games, characters, true crime, documentaries, docuseries, literally anything. Trust me, I'm here for it. Just let me know. Bye bye.